All right, welcome back to the SSL Family Dad channel. We are here to finish the evaporator and get some sap boiled today. Just bringing out some of these green stock systems that a company in Tennessee makes, and we're going to be showing you guys these here probably the next couple weeks. As soon as temperatures start to warm up, we'll be able to get these things filled up and kind of play around with some vertical gardening systems. But today, that's not our mission. Today, our mission is to get out and get this evaporator finished. So let's go get it uncovered. It's not raining anymore. So let's go see where we're at and what we need to do to get this thing buttoned up. This is where we left off. I think I've got a fresh look at this, and we're going to make some adjustments to the this part here. Put another support in here, get this block in, and then we're going to set the pan in place. We'll cover this thing with cement board. I'll screw the cement board in all the way around here, make a nice square of cement board, and then we'll just cut out a hole for the door, and we'll screw it in there. We'll see how that works. I don't know how well the cement board's going to hold up, and drilling holes in it and all that stuff, so we'll see. It may fall apart. But there's only one way to find out. Well, this is not exactly how I wanted this to turn out, but this is my last two pieces of this solid block, so it's just going to have to be what it is. I accidentally cut this last night, just wasn't thinking, and so now I have a split here, but we're going to cover this all with cement. This block sloped down a little bit, so we need to level this out. And next thing we're going to do is we're going to get ready to put the pan in, and then we'll figure out exactly where our drain pipe comes out on the side here. And once I figure out what that's at, I'm going to have to cut a little notch here, and then we'll use some little scrap pieces to block this over, and then we'll cement this all in. That went better than expected. Alright, so this side is a little low, and this side is low. Good. So we have good flow to the drain. Alright, onto the chimney. And because we get a lot of wind here, I like to put a support pole to attach the chimney pipe to. Alright, we've got a rain cap, which I don't really need, but I got anyway. We got this stovepipe now. Unfortunately, Ace Hardware is where I was at. I was close to yesterday, so I had to get this. Home Depot does sell 4-feet sections of this, so I wouldn't have had to put so many together. But these are 24-inch sections. That's all Ace Hardware sells, so that's what we got. This is one of those jobs best done without gloves on, because you can grip the pipe a little better. So with stovepipe, there's a lot of confusion about this, it seems like, but you always want to have the crimps down in any indoor application anyway. Doesn't really matter for us out here, but you want the top piece of pipe to go inside the bottom piece, because you get creosote that will run down the walls of this on the inside, and if you have it the other way around, the creosote will come out and run outside of your pipes. You also have the opposite with a stovepipe, where you'd think that the smoke is being pushed up and it would come out of these, but actually you have a vacuum at the top. The hot air is rising out of the chimney, it's sucking, pulling the smoke out of the fire, and the way that draft works, it pulls it out. So if anything, it would pull air in through these, and so that's just the way chimney pipe goes. Well, I can't find my crimpers, so I'll do a little trick. You can crimp anything by just taking needle nose pliers and making some divots in it. Just twist it. So I'm just taking another look at this, and I actually think this is going to work out just fine for that metal door. This is what I was worried about. You got the pan drops down in the opening a little bit here, but the more and more I think about it, I mean, no matter what I do, this is the biggest opening I'm going to get here, so it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm going to try to attach this door. I don't know how well this is going to go, because the screw holes for the door are right along the edge of the brick, so it's possible that it chips the cement away here. Try to be careful, pre-drill the holes. We'll see what happens, but this might work out okay. So the plan is to use these tap cons. These should go in and anchor pretty good. These are pretty nice concrete screws or cement screws, and I think that they'll fit in here and they'll grab onto that just fine. I don't think it'll pull through, so we'll see what happens. Well, I guess I would call that a mild success. One of the screws stripped off, broke right off, and some of them stripped out. So they're not. This one's not even really holding anything. This one's stripped right out. These ones, these three right here are pretty solid in this one. So I don't know. We may have to devise a I think we may go to the cement board at some point, but it's on there and it'll work for now. All right, well, it's clean. We got some, the brown spots on the bottom are not rust. As far as I understand, they're from when I burnt a batch of syrup down there. It's kind of stained. So, and I also have found that the bottom of the pan is warped in the middle. So even though it's sloped down to the drain here, I don't get a good full drain. And so I'll have to do what I've done for the last couple of years, and that's siphon with a little tube to get the bottom bit of sap out. But I've washed it and scrubbed it and rinsed it, and it's all ready to go. You can see it starting to steam there, so I'll get some sap in here in just a moment. But everything has been running pretty well. So The draft isn't as good as I guess I had hoped or wanted. But once it gets going, it burns pretty good in there. But I do have to leave the door open. If I shut the door, you know, the little vents down here, that's not even close to enough air. But it seems to be drawn pretty good up the chimney. The chimney's not quite as tall as the other one was either. But I also, on the old design, I had a really big open, in fact it was an open cinder block on the bottom that fed in right at the bottom of those coals. And so we'll see how this does. I may have to, for the next boil, like I said, drill some holes or open that up. But we'll get this thing loaded, stacked full of wood. Burning just a bunch of pallets today. So we'll stack this thing full of pallets and we'll get this thing fired up and see if we can get some sap boiling. Alright, so I've got a hose with a filter on it. There we go. That just helps filter out anything that got in the buckets out there in the field, or, you know, any debris or anything like that ended up in the tank, which definitely happens. Little sticks and twigs and other things end up in the sap collection process. So this should keep that stuff out. So we'll just let that sit there. It's running in there at a good pace. Yeah. Draft looks really good now that it's going. It's got some nice hot coals in there. It's pulling in real well. So some of you might be saying, why even bother putting the door on there if you have to leave it open? Well, the problem is that once the sap gets down to the bottom, once it's boiled down, I want to be able to control the fire a little bit more. So if I can shut this and starve that fire out a little bit, I can shut this off and this off, and now I've got an almost complete vacuum in there, and the fire will die down. I can really control the boil a lot better. I can open this back up and you can see how much that fire died down in there. So being able to control the air is very useful. Well, I'm pretty happy with how everything turned out. Still a little bit of tweaking to do and things. We'll see how it runs over this boil. We've got about 8 inches of snow coming tonight and tomorrow, and so I'll be out here finishing this off and getting it inside before the big parts of the snow come. You can already kind of feel it in the air. There's a pretty good storm coming through, it sounds like. So, but hopefully you guys have liked this this kind of daily walkthrough, daily series. We finally got the evaporator at least finished. Now the next thing is to build a roof over my head. It's going to kind of be not very much fun sitting out here in the cold weather. So that'll motivate me to get that done and work on that. Don't forget to hit thumbs up on today's video, guys. And if this is your first time to the SSL Family Dad channel, of course, I'd love to have you subscribe and tag along. Lots of more maple syrup stuff and other things coming up. Gardening's coming soon, so I'd love to have you tag along. And as always, guys, thanks for watching. Have a good one. Well, it is 11:30, and it took quite a bit longer than I anticipated, but man, is it hot in there. I mean, it's just like feels like you can melt metal in there. It's hot. And it's been boiling pretty good. I haven't had to add too much wood. I'm gonna close it all down now, because that's it. We're at the bottom. So the rest of it we'll take in. There's about, it's almost about to burn on that end, and then down here there's probably about 1 inch. And so we'll take it in, and I'm transferring it into a jug there, and then it'll cool outside. We'll keep it outside so it gets nice and cold real quick, and then we'll take it in tomorrow and boil it down to syrup.